What's going on, everyone? This is Adam from LeadWeb AI, and today we are going to go over how to create a real estate investing script. And before we go over all of that, I'd like to go over some things to keep in mind whenever you are building out your script. So the first thing is formatting is very important, especially when you're building out a script inside of Air.Ai. So for example, when you're creating your first prompt, you want to be able to have a tilde, which is the shift top button on the top left, space, and then a quotation mark to actually start the prompt. And then underneath that, you want to have a wait for prospect to respond. And what I like to do is go into Google Docs because it's a living, breathing document. And here you could actually go up here, hit file, make a copy, and then you could write all over it, right? In terms of taking this and moving it over to have it be a document that you own. And so we're gonna hit enter, enter, wait for prospect to respond, enter, enter, and then we're just gonna keep this same format right here throughout the actual building of the script. And you always wanna go into the script as well as if you're talking to the most perfect prospect. It doesn't matter if they're going to say no, if they're going to hang up on you, if they're going to say kick rocks, pounce in, whatever the case may be, that doesn't matter. You want to build out your script as if you're talking to the most perfect prospect. They always say yes. They're never going to say no. They're always going to book an appointment. They're always going to transfer a call. We're going to let the knowledge base that you create actually handle the objections, handle the questions that your clients are going to have. And that is going to make your script sound a whole lot better and a lot more realistic. And a number of people, especially when they're talking about dollars and property values and things like that, they're going to put the dollar sign in there and percent. Just make sure that you spell it out. So for example, if it's dollar, just spell out dollar. If it's percent, spell out percent. And if it's the ampersand, spell out and. And everything as far as addresses go, right? So if it's drive, DR, spell out drive because AI is going to look at that as doctor. If it's boulevard, spell out boulevard. AI is not going to read BLVD. If it's street, ST, spell out street, and so on and so forth. And that may be very annoying, especially if you have a CSV list that you're calling off of from opted-in leads, then it's going to be pretty difficult. So you may want to pay someone on Fiverr or maybe have chatgpt upload that file and say, hey, change all of these street abbreviations and spell them out. Speaking of ums, you can add in ums inside of here as well to make it more realistic. So, hey, this is so-and-so from so-and-so. You can add in the ums. You can add in the uhs to make it more realistic. You can also add in intelligence to it as well. So if you notice inside of Air, and by the way, I always recommend having a do not use script or agent built out inside of your Air account. And the reason for that is because you want to be able to have all of the main code that has been built out already so you can use it to your advantage. And the reason why I like to do this is because of scheduling, which we'll go into that here in a moment. But up here, inside of the rules side of things, right? Scroll down here, scroll down. So everything that's in blue are all rules. Those are all rules. So what you want to do in this scenario, you don't necessarily have to. You can hit enter, 3, period, and you can add in intelligence to this. So you could say, you're a, and now I'm not the best typer, so you're going to see a bunch of typos. So you're a real estate investor with 15 years of experience. You are located in Buffalo, New York. You love bagels and coffee. Sometimes you have cream cheese on your bagel, and sometimes you have honey. I don't know. There's some stupid stuff, right? And the reason for all of this is you want to build a personality behind the intelligence as well. And if you want to go into different personality types, you could go up here and you could say, what is the best personality for an outbound caller? And so right here, a great cold caller has a fantastic combination of tolerance, perseverance, tenacity, plus the ability to be assertive, proactive, and positive. And so you can copy all of this here, and you can go back and say, you are also, or you also have a high tolerance, perspective, or perseverance and tenacity, plus the ability to be assertive and proactive and positive on all of your calls that you do. You can only talk about ABC company, which is located in, and then you start giving context to your company, right? And what you do. And so from there, what you're doing is you're building an all-around, a very well-rounded AI. So that way when it's having the conversation, you're giving it really good context. Think about providing instructions or directions to a location to someone that doesn't have GPS. You want to be very specific. And I use this in another video. So for example, and I'll give a different one so that way it doesn't sound repeated. But for example, if you're giving a direction to go point A to point B, you're going to be very specific. You're going to say, look, you want to take I-95 for 2.35 miles. You want to stay on the right-hand lane because the exit has a very small window of the on-ramp and off-ramp of that exit. And so you want to be as close to that as humanly possible. And you want to start to go into specifics. You want to come up at 65 miles an hour and then slowly decrease your speed to 45 miles an hour as you're merging into the off-ramp of this exit. When you're there, stay in the left lane. You see how I'm getting very specific, right? And that's how you want to be whenever you're building out your agent in here, because you don't want to give it leeway, right? You want to have bumpers on when you're bowling, right? You want to have bumpers on there so it can go left, it can go right, but only within the allowed parameters that you provide. And that's how you want to have your AI set up. You don't want to have it to where your bowling lane is 6 lanes wide with no bumpers and your pins are directly in the middle, but it could go 6 feet to the left, 6 feet to the right. And so you want to make sure that it is very focused on the end result, which you can provide inside of the rules up here, which is really cool. But I'm going to delete this so that way it doesn't mess it up. So now we're going to go back to our script. So we're going to have your prompt in here. So one of the rules, the new rules that are happening, is you got to have who you are and what your company name is inside of the prompt. So you're going to say, hi, prospect name. Hi, prospect name. This is Amy from ABC Realty. Right? Which looks like a really good starting off seed phrase. But if we go back up here and we're following our rules to this, you want to make sure you spell this out. So I'm going to do A, B, C. And it may not look right, which is fine, but it's going to sound correct, and that's really what you want. And so when you're going in and you're tweaking this, like for example, time zone. Time zone is one word, right? At least I believe it is. Let me see. Is time zone one word? Oh, it's 2 words. Never mind. Wait. Okay. Oh, okay. So sometimes, okay, I guess in different countries, it's different. So in this scenario, I always like to space out time zone because it's a little bit easier for the AI to understand and spell out, or not spell out, but just say in general. And so you always just want to make sure that if the AI is not saying something properly, you may want to phonetically spell the actual word so that way it says it correctly. Even names inside of the leads that you have that opt in, they may have a name that may not sound correct, right? So, or may not be phonetically correct whenever the AI says it. And so when you're going in there, like AJ, for example, it probably will say AJ just fine, but if you really want to have it and make sure that you're calling a spot on, you can do A, J whenever you're going into your CSV sheet when you upload that. So that's one thing to keep in mind as well. But always add in your company name up here, because the VoIP provider is going to dock you for that and potentially mess up your account. And now we're going to go to the next one. So, one moment. Okay, we are back with the power of a pause button. So, I went ahead and typed out a script so that way you didn't have to see me fumble through it. But I typed it out, and I have a number of typos in there as well that we're going to go in and fix that are going to be common as you start to build out these scripts. So we have the seed phrase in here. We have wait for prospect to respond. Now we're going to move to the second part. So we're going to say, right here, we're going to say, because it's going to say, hi, John, this is Amy from ABC Realty. Do you have 30 seconds? And they're going to say yes. And oh, that's another thing too. Here we go. Add in a question to every prompt that you have the AI say. And the reason for this is because you always want to yield a response from the prospect. And if there is no question, you run the risk of not having that. So here, we're going to say, got 30 seconds. And they're going to say, sure, who is this? And then we're going to add in this. Great. This is, and it's fine to actually duplicate this because a lot of people are going to ask, who is this again? And it's going to say, great, I'm with ABC Realty on a recorded line. And we're calling to see if you've considered an offer on your house. Right? Add in that question mark in there. Then we're going to hit copy. Wait for prospect to respond. And remember, we always want to add in, or we always want to have the prompt as if we're talking to the most perfect person, right? So we're going to paste this in. Sounds good. I have a few questions about the property that shouldn't take longer than 3 to 5 minutes. How's that sound? So here, there's a couple things, maybe 3 that you need to fix. One is the formatting right here. There's no tilde or quotation. So we're going to hit tilde, quotation. We're going to add an end quotation to this. I have a few questions about the property. It shouldn't take longer than 3 to 5 minutes. So we want to spell out these numbers. So we want to do 3 to 5 minutes. And then there's a pause, a pretty decent pause whenever you put a period. So I always want to take out that period and put a comma. So that way it flows a little bit better. How's that sound? Enter, wait for prospect to respond. Boom. There we go. Now we're going to move to the next one. Here. Awesome. What's the general condition of the house? Now you notice every one of these sentences are going to have a one-word sentence ahead of them. That is important to speed up the actual latency or decrease the latency that the AI has when it's talking. We also want to add in the formatting. Tilde space, quotation, quotation, enter, and wait for prospect to respond. Boom. There we go. Okay. And then now we're going to move to the next one. Okay. Period. And how old is the roof and AC unit? Now, there's a couple of things that we need to change in here as well. So we're going to hit tilde, quotation, and then we're going to take this and we're going to say, instead of AC, we're going to say AC unit. Right? It doesn't look correct, but it's fine because whenever you're talking, you're not looking at that. And you can also put in here and how old is the roof and the AC unit, just to add in a little bit more realism there. Then we're going to hit copy, enter. There we go. And then we're going to add in this right here. Also, how long ago were the kitchen and bathrooms updated? And then we're going to hit tilde space, quotation, in quotation, wait for prospect to respond. You see why having this built-out template saves you a lot of time. And now we're going to go to the next one. And actually, you know what we'll do? We'll just kind of... we're going to copy this and paste all of it in there so that way we can kind of just run through this. So we're going to copy this, and we're going to add in, wait for prospect to respond to all of these, just to speed it up. Almost done. One more. And then one more. Okay. So, and is anyone living in the property right now? Looks like we have wait for prospect to respond twice in here. So we'll fix that. And we're going to put the tilde. Oops. We're going to put the tilde and the quotation. We're going to copy this. And we're going to just go down and add this in, because all of them need it. All right, and then now we're going to go up and add in the ending quotation for all of this. And mind you, this is not the most fun thing in the world to do. That's why companies like to work with us, because we end up doing all of this stuff for them, and there's a lot less work for them to do. The only thing they have to do is really press play. So if you like to work with a company like us, you could always check out our demo below inside of the description box. But we're going to continue with this. Okay, is there anything else we should know about the property? And this property sounds like something we'd be interested in. And then we're going to add in a comma instead of a period. Why are you thinking about selling? One word sentence. One word sentence. And period if you decide to sell. So we're going to add that one word sentence in there. 30 days. So we're going to add 30. And what number did you have in mind? Like, even if you're not exactly sure, what's a ballpark? Okay, got it. Now, since we're covering all costs to sell, is that the best you can do? And if they say yes, and then we can go into, now this is the part where we're booking an appointment, right? So we're going to go back to our do not use. We're going to scroll down to the scheduling component. And we're going to copy all of this. Hit copy. And then we're going to hit paste. And there we go. Now there's some of this that you're going to have to edit and fix. Like, I'll lock in that time for you. Generally, we'll just delete that and we'll add it into this one. I'll lock in that time for you, and then I'll add a comma instead of a period. And just to double check, there's no reason why you would not show up, right? Like, you can 100% make the call. And then we're going to delete this, because that doesn't really mesh well with that particular call, agent, script, whatever you want to call it. And we're going to add a one-word sentence in here. I'm really excited to see how your call goes. And most important, I'm really excited to see how your call goes, comma, everything is good to go over here. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day. And this is the script that I would use in terms of building out a real estate investing script. One thing to note with the new law changes that are coming, make sure all of your leads are opted in. You don't want to get caught in a pickle with these new laws that are coming up. And we make sure that all of our clients are protected. And if you're interested on how we're getting our clients $1.50 leads, you can always click on this link right here to see a demo on how we're doing it. It's pretty interesting. But again, my name is Adam with LeadWeb AI, and I hope to see you on the demo. See you later.